Gentlemen, let me begin with a truth that may startle many of you. Every single morning, millions of men over the age of 60 lift their familiar cup of coffee, take a sip, and unknowingly miss a golden opportunity to reclaim their strength, confidence, and vitality. What I'm about to share isn't just about physical health. It touches something much deeper in the core of masculinity: strength, resilience, and yes, even the ability to maintain performance well into your 70 seconds or 80 seconds. Have you ever stopped to think that the very cup of coffee you've been drinking for decades could either hold you back in weakness or become the key to restoring your manhood? My name is Dr. David Moreno, a men's health specialist who has spent more than 3 decades studying and helping thousands of men regain the strength, passion, and confidence they thought were lost forever. Many patients have come to me with eyes full of discouragement, convinced that their golden years were long gone. But the truth I always tell them is this decline is not destiny. It's your body's way of crying out for help. Most men assume that fading performance is simply caused by age, stress, or bad luck. But here's the paradox. While so many turn to pills, surgery, or expensive treatments, one of the most powerful secrets has been sitting in their kitchens all along. And here's my promise to you: by adding just one simple natural ingredient to your morning coffee, you can dramatically improve circulation, boost testosterone, and restore your confidence in a way that feels natural, safe, and sustainable. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's been proven by dozens of studies and by the real-life results I've witnessed in my patients. That's why I urge you to stay with me, because in just a moment, I'll reveal exactly what you can stir into your morning cup to reignite your vitality, even if you're well into your 80 seconds. But before we get there, if what I'm sharing resonates with you, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. Type 1 if you feel this message speaks to you, or 0 if you think I could make these videos more useful for your journey. I always want to listen and walk alongside this community of men at your stage of life. Now let's go straight to the root of the matter. Why do men over 60 so often face this decline? It isn't just about age. It's about the quiet changes happening inside your body. I remember the questions my patients ask me when they sit across from me. Doctor, why is this happening to me? Why has something that once felt so natural suddenly become a struggle? And I always give them the same answer. Suddenly. It's been building inside your body for years. By the time you reach 60, at least 2 major changes have already taken place. 1. Testosterone, the hormone essential for energy, drive, and masculine strength, has dropped to nearly half of what it was in your 20 seconds. 2. Blood vessels, once flexible and supple, have stiffened and lost elasticity, making it harder for blood to flow to the areas of your body that matter most. These are the 2 core factors that weaken a man's body, both physically and mentally. The human body is like a remarkable machine. In youth, everything runs smoothly. Blood surges powerfully through every artery, nourishing the heart, the brain, and even the most sensitive parts of you. But with age, those once flexible vessels gradually harden and lose their responsiveness. And that quiet shift makes all the difference. Picture your body like a high-pressure hose. When you were younger, water gushed through forcefully, unstoppable. But as the years pass, that hose wears down, leaks, and weakens. The strong rushing stream turns into a weak trickle. And the result is inevitable. The masculine strength that once came naturally starts to fade, leaving behind frustration and a sense of powerlessness. The truth is, this isn't about willpower or desire, it's pure biology. When testosterone drops, muscles shrink, energy plummets, and when blood no longer flows the way it once did, confidence in your manhood begins to fade. Over time, many men feel like nothing more than a shadow of who they once were. I remember one patient, a quiet 6-7-year-old man. He sat down, let out a heavy sigh, and whispered, "I just don't feel like a man anymore." That statement pierced my heart. For him, it wasn't only about intimacy. It was about identity, about self-belief, about the spark of life that had dimmed. But I always remind men, and I want to remind you right now, that decline is not destiny. Your body can recover if you give it the right fuel. And here's the good news: you don't need complicated prescriptions or costly surgeries. The very cup of coffee you drink every morning already holds the opportunity for change. By adding natural ingredients, you can awaken stiff blood vessels, unlock the flow of energy, and support your hormones in coming back to life. And the beauty of it all: it's simple, it's safe, and it works even if you're in your 70 seconds or 80 seconds. So the real question isn't, does aging automatically mean weakness? The question is, How do you turn a familiar habit, your morning cup of coffee, into a tool for restoring masculine strength? Every morning, millions of men still pour themselves a cup of coffee. The aroma fills the room, steam curls upward, and that first sip jolts them awake. I've had patients admit to me, "Doctor, I could give up many things, but please don't ask me to give up coffee." And I always smile because I know that very habit can be transformed into something life-changing. My mornings begin the same way as yours, with a hot cup of coffee. That aroma wakes up, the brain sharpens focus, and delivers the energy needed to start the day. It's a routine I've kept for decades. But here's the truth: most men don't realize plain coffee only does half the job. Yes, caffeine gives a quick boost to circulation. Yes, it provides a short burst of alertness. But think of it this way: drinking black coffee is like stepping on the gas pedal of a car that hasn't been serviced in years. Sure, it might take off quickly, but before long the engine overheats, weakens, and the same old problems remain. That's why so many men find themselves reaching for a second cup or even a third just to chase a focus that doesn't last. The reality is, plain black coffee is like regular fuel in a high-performance sports car. It gets the engine running, but it doesn't give you the premium performance your body truly needs, especially after 50 or 60. And here's the paradox: that very same coffee, if enhanced the right way, could become a natural remedy, strengthening the heart, keeping blood vessels flexible, and reigniting masculine vitality. It's science. I've seen it with my own eyes. One man, in his 70 seconds after years of struggling, made a simple change. He added just one natural ingredient to his morning coffee. Within weeks, his body responded. He no longer felt jittery or drained by midday. Most importantly, he regained confidence in his intimate life. Hope returned, and with it the sense that he was once again in control of his own body. That experience taught me a profound lesson. Sometimes it's the smallest, simplest adjustments that bring the greatest transformations. Coffee doesn't have to be an empty ritual. It can become a source of healing and restoration. It's familiar, affordable, and already part of your life. All you need is to know what to add to it, and it becomes a daily partner in your health, your strength, and your masculinity. And the best part, you don't have to wait months or years to see results. Change can begin in just a matter of weeks. So let me reveal to you the very first ingredient, a spice that has existed for centuries, one tied to childhood memories in kitchens around the world, yet often forgotten in the journey of reclaiming manhood. Cinnamon, the vessel healer. I still remember so clearly from my childhood, the kitchen filled with the warm aroma of cinnamon, my mother sprinkling it over hot oatmeal, or folding it into a pie that made the whole house smell sweet and comforting. That flavor wasn't just about nostalgia. Hidden within it was a secret strength for men's health that most men never realized. For many of us, cinnamon is more than a spice. It's tied to memory, cozy winter mornings, holiday treats, and family gatherings where its fragrance carried comfort and warmth. But beyond that familiarity lies a hidden power. Few men know cinnamon can protect blood vessels, stabilize energy, and reignite masculine vitality. Why does this matter? As we age, one of the silent enemies of men's health is unstable blood sugar. Every spike and crash damages the smallest, most delicate vessels in the body, and the tiniest capillaries in a man's most sensitive area are often the first to suffer, even before the heart. These vessels are thinner than a strand of hair, so even minor damage can interrupt circulation, quietly eroding confidence and performance long before you even notice. That's why so many men experience struggles years before they're ever diagnosed with diabetes. And this is where cinnamon steps in as a kind of guardian. Research shows that cinnamon can lower fasting blood sugar by as much as 20–30%. That single effect alone is enough to safeguard those fragile vessels and keep blood flow steady. But cinnamon does more than that. It also helps relax and expand blood vessels, a process known as vasodilation. Inside cinnamon is a compound called cinnamaldehyde, which stimulates the body to produce nitric oxide, the same miracle molecule that prescription drugs like Viagra are designed to target. When nitric oxide rises, blood flow improves. And when circulation is strong, firmness and stamina naturally return. I've seen the difference firsthand. One man in his 50 seconds, a former construction worker, told me he used to nod off every afternoon. But after adding a pinch of cinnamon to his morning coffee consistently, he stayed steady and energized all day. And most importantly, he regained confidence in his intimate life. That gentle warmth he felt after drinking it wasn't just flavor. It was his body responding to a restored flow of life. And the beauty is, you don't need much. Just a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon each morning is enough to set the process in motion. The key is consistency. When you make it a daily ritual, you're not just enjoying a tasty cup of coffee, you're practicing a small act of self-care that pays off in long-term strength and vitality. Simple, easy, but powerfully effective. Cinnamon is more than a spice. It's the perfect blend of tradition and modern science, a bridge between flavor and health. And once you feel the difference cinnamon makes, imagine what happens when it's paired with another ingredient, one that flips the body's natural switch for male vitality. That ingredient is cocoa, the second secret we're about to uncover. If cinnamon is the protector of blood vessels, then cocoa is the body's natural switch, an activator that sparks masculine power from within. And here's what's fascinating, most of us have been connected to the taste of chocolate since childhood. Maybe it was that candy bar you craved, or the small square of dark chocolate you savored in the quiet of an afternoon. That rich, bittersweet flavor brings warmth, nostalgia, and comfort. But behind it lies a remarkable medical secret. Pure, unsweetened cocoa, dark, rich, and unrefined, is one of nature's most powerful gifts for restoring blood flow and reigniting a man's vitality. Inside cocoa are flavonoids, compounds that act directly on the lining of blood vessels, triggering the body to release nitric oxide. You can think of nitric oxide as the body's open sesame signal for the arteries. When nitric oxide is abundant, blood vessels expand, wide blood rushes freely, and circulation reaches exactly where it's needed. When levels are low, vessels stay tight, and narrow flow becomes restricted, and no matter how much desire you feel, the body simply can't respond. This is the very mechanism targeted by popular medications. But here's the difference. Cocoa can activate this process naturally, safely, and in a way that lasts. I remember a man in his early 70s who once came to see me. He had nearly given up, too embarrassed to even talk about intimacy. I suggested he try adding a spoonful of raw cocoa powder into his morning coffee each day. A month later, he returned with a radiant smile and said something I'll never forget. That's the power of nitric oxide. It throws open the doors, allowing blood to flow freely and waking up vitality that had been dormant. But cocoa doesn't stop at the physical level. It also reaches the mind. Inside cocoa are compounds like anandamide, known as the bliss molecule, and phenylethylamine, the same chemical our bodies release when we fall in love. Together, they create a calmer, more positive mood and help the mind and body reconnect in powerful ways. Men often underestimate the role the mind plays in performance, but the truth is this: when your mind is at ease and your heart is happy, your body follows. And there's more. Cocoa is also rich in magnesium, a mineral essential for testosterone production and muscle function. Combine all of these benefits and it becomes clear why this single, simple ingredient can bring about such a profound change. The flavor itself is an experience. Coffee blended with cocoa becomes something special, a natural mocha, rich and satisfying, without the sugar overload of hot chocolate. If the bitterness feels too strong at first, you can balance it with a touch of natural sweetener like stevia or monk fruit, just enough to soften the taste without spiking blood sugar. But this isn't only about enjoying a better tasting coffee. Every sip becomes a signal to your body. Wake up, open the pathways, restore your masculine strength. Cocoa is not just flavor, it's a key to unlocking potential that age has quietly locked away. If cinnamon protects your blood vessels and cocoa flips the circulation switch, then maca goes deeper. It stirs the inner fire of hormones and desire, awakening the very essence of male vitality. For hundreds of years, high in the cold, unforgiving Andes mountains of Peru, where few plants can survive, a small, hardy root has thrived. That root is maca. Locals treat it as a treasure, even calling it nature's Viagra. But what makes maca unique is not that it works like a pill. No, it follows a different path. Instead of forcing the body to respond instantly, it gently awakens what's already inside you. When I first studied maca, I was fascinated. A plant that grows at nearly 14,000 feet in soil where almost nothing else endures, still manages to hold such resilience and strength. And when humans consume it, they inherit that resilience. Maca doesn't deliver a sudden fleeting jolt. Instead, it helps the body gradually find balance again. Its effects reach all the way to the pituitary gland and hypothalamus, the master controllers of your endocrine system. The result? testosterone has a chance to rise, energy is restored, and long-lost desire quietly rekindles week by week. I've seen men in their 60 seconds and 70 seconds describe the feeling not as a shock but as a steady flame, being reignited, slowly growing brighter and stronger. Science backs this up. In one study, men who took about 4 grams of maca daily, roughly 1 teaspoon, reported significant improvements in desire and performance after just 12 weeks. Another study found increases in both sperm count and motility, clear signs that the body's reproductive engine was running more smoothly. But maca doesn't just bring physical changes. It also impacts the mind. Many men have told me they feel sharper, more focused, and in better spirits. One retired teacher once shared with me, "Doctor, it feels like someone switched the lights back on in my head. Everything feels clearer and more alive again." That shows us that maca doesn't just restore performance in the bedroom, it breathes life back into everyday moments. Maca also comes in different varieties, each with its own unique benefits. Yellow maca. Red maca, often praised for supporting prostate health, especially important for older men. Black maca, considered the powerhouse boosting stamina and endurance most noticeably. Just a single teaspoon of maca stirred into your morning coffee is enough to create a whole new flavor, slightly nutty, slightly malty. And when paired with cocoa, it becomes a remarkable combination. It's not just a drink, it's a secret to male vitality that the people of Peru have safeguarded for generations. What impresses me most about maca is its role as an adaptogen. It doesn't force the body into extremes, but instead helps us adjust, adapt, and stay balanced under pressure. For men over 60 carrying the weight of work, family, and health concerns, this kind of natural buffer is invaluable. It's like the Andes Mountains, where maca grows harsh, unyielding, yet silently nurturing resilience. So far, we've seen cinnamon protect the blood vessels, cocoa flip the circulation switch, and maca rekindle hormones and desire. But the journey doesn't stop there. Imagine this. What if you could not only support hormones, but also supply the raw materials your body needs to actually produce more testosterone? The answer lies in an ingredient that seems familiar, but has been misunderstood for far too long: coconut oil, also known as MCT oil. For decades, society taught men to fear fat. Low-fat diets were marketed as the key to health. Generations grew up cutting out butter oils and anything rich. But here's the irony. Testosterone, the very hormone that fuels strength, vitality, and masculinity, is built from fats and cholesterol. Without them, the body is like a factory missing its raw materials. It simply can't run the way it should. That's why I often smile when I tell patients just 1 spoonful of coconut oil in your morning coffee can provide the natural fuel your body needs to reclaim its masculine edge. What makes coconut oil so unique is its high content of medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs. Unlike the long-chain fats in most foods, MCTs don't crawl slowly through digestion. Instead, they go straight to the liver, where they're rapidly converted into clean, powerful energy. Think of them like premium fuel, burning efficiently, producing strength, and leaving no waste behind. Multiple studies have shown that men who regularly consume MCTs can increase testosterone levels by up to 20% compared to those who rely on other types of fats. And when testosterone rises, the effects ripple outward: more energy, steadier moods, sharper focus, and stronger performance in every sense of the word. He came to me exhausted, saying he felt like he was dragging his body through the day. I suggested he try a version of coffee many call bulletproof coffee. Coffee blended with coconut oil. A month later, he returned, looking like a different man, his eyes brighter, his steps steadier. He told me, "I don't struggle to get through the mornings anymore. My energy stays steady all day." And the funny thing is, my wife noticed the change before I did. One small shift in daily habit, but the impact was enormous. Sometimes what the body needs isn't a complicated solution, it's simply the right fuel to awaken the strength that's been waiting inside all along. When you blend coconut oil or MCT into hot coffee, it's no longer just coffee. It transforms into a creamy latte-like drink that's rich, smooth, and deeply satisfying. The healthy fats slow down caffeine absorption, so instead of a quick burst of energy, followed by a crash you enjoy, steady, sustained vitality for hours. Some men prefer concentrated MCT oil for maximum effect, while others start with just half a teaspoon of coconut oil and build up gradually for easier digestion. Either way, the outcome is the same. You're giving your body the very building blocks it needs to maintain and strengthen testosterone production. It's remarkable to think that an oil once misunderstood and avoided has now proven to be such a reliable ally for men's health. But here's the exciting part. The journey doesn't end there. Alongside fueling hormones, there's another ingredient that not only protects the very glands responsible for testosterone production, but also supercharges circulation. And that ingredient is one you already know well: ginger. Think back to the sharp, warming bite of a slice of fresh ginger. Maybe you've tasted it in tea when you weren't feeling well, or in holiday cookies with that extra kick of spice. But ginger is far more than a flavor. For thousands of years, traditional medicine has revered it as a healing root. And now modern science confirms what our ancestors already knew. Ginger has the power to expand blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and even boost testosterone. What does this mean for men over 60? It means better circulation, more energy, and stronger performance. Ginger works through multiple pathways. First, it enhances blood flow. Its active compounds, gingerol and shogol, relax blood vessels, allowing them to widen naturally. That warmth you feel after sipping ginger tea isn't just a pleasant sensation, it's blood moving more efficiently through your body. And when circulation improves, your heart, brain, and yes, your manhood all reap the benefits. But here's the surprising part: ginger also protects the testosterone factory itself, the testicles. These cells are highly vulnerable to heat, toxins, and oxidative stress. Over time, those factors wear down hormone production. Ginger acts like a shield, defending against that silent damage. Research has shown striking results. In one study, men who consumed ginger daily saw testosterone levels rise by nearly 18% in just 3 months. It works by boosting luteinizing hormone, the messenger that signals the testicles to produce more testosterone, while reducing oxidative stress that strangles hormonal function. And the outcome? Improved overall health, steady energy, uplifted mood, and a natural return of masculine confidence. Many men describe feeling reborn, warmer, stronger, and more assured in their own bodies. I recall a quiet man in his 60s who told me he had tried nearly every supplement on the market, but nothing truly worked. I advised him to start simple: just drop a few slices of fresh ginger into his morning coffee. Or if he wanted convenience, add a quarter teaspoon of ginger powder instead. A few weeks later, he came back with a firmer handshake and a brighter smile. "Doctor," he said, "I feel warmer, stronger, more awake." And my wife noticed the change before I did. That moment reminded me of a powerful truth. Sometimes the smallest daily choices can transform an entire life. What makes ginger even more remarkable is its versatility. Fresh ginger delivers those volatile oils that boost circulation almost instantly, while powdered ginger packs more concentrated compounds for lasting benefits. Some men prefer the kick of fresh, others the ease of powder. Either way, ginger remains the same: affordable, accessible, safe, and trusted in medicine for thousands of years. Now imagine this. You've got cinnamon to protect your blood vessels, cocoa to flip the nitric oxide, switch maca to reignite hormones, coconut oil to fuel testosterone, and ginger to boost circulation and safeguard the very source of masculinity. When you combine them, you're not just drinking coffee, you're giving your body a natural elixir. So the real question is, how do you turn all of this into a daily habit without feeling overwhelmed? Many men have asked me, "Doctor, do I need to turn my kitchen into a science lab every morning?" And my answer is always the same: absolutely not. The power of these ingredients lies in simplicity and consistency. You don't need fancy machines or complicated recipes. What you need is persistence. When you gradually fold these ingredients into your morning routine, the effects compound over time, and that's when you begin to feel the real difference. Stronger, more energized, more confident in every area of life. My advice is very simple: start small. For example, begin with just a pinch of cinnamon. It tastes good, it's easy, and it immediately supports blood sugar and circulation. Just a quarter teaspoon a day may not seem like much, but repeat it daily and its impact multiplies. Once you're comfortable, add cocoa. At that point, your coffee is no longer just a wake-up drink. It becomes a nitric oxide switch, fueling powerful circulation throughout your body. Week by week, you can layer in maca or coconut oil to give your hormones the fuel they need. I once had a patient in his 70s follow this exact path. He started with cinnamon. 2 weeks later, he added cocoa. A month after that, he tried maca a few times a week. By the end of the second month, he returned to me with a radiant look in his eyes. "Doctor, I haven't felt this steady and alive in years." That is the power of step-by-step layering, simple, sustainable, and effective. He looked at me with eyes full of energy and said, "Doctor, my focus, my energy, my performance, it's all coming back." That's what I call the art of layering. And the beauty is, it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need all 5 ingredients every single morning. In fact, too much can upset digestion. Think of them instead as a flexible toolkit you can customize. Some mornings it's cinnamon and cocoa for a gentle start. Other mornings it's maca and ginger for an extra boost. And on days when you have more time, you can blend coconut oil, cinnamon, cocoa, and ginger into a creamy latte-like coffee that doesn't just taste incredible, it nourishes your body in ways black coffee never could. The key isn't perfection, it's progress. When you give your body time to adjust, small changes add up, turning your mornings into a powerful launchpad, steadier energy, sharper thinking, and renewed masculine vitality. Remember, this decline is not destiny. What you choose to do each morning makes all the difference. Small habits repeated consistently can transform your coffee into one of the most powerful health rituals of your life. But there's something deeper I want you to understand. Knowing the science is one thing. Understanding why it matters to men, that's far more important. Because when we talk about performance, most people think only of the bedroom. But in truth, it's a mirror reflecting your overall health. I've worked with thousands of men, and it's always the same. When things begin to weaken there, it's rarely just about desire. It's a silent warning: circulation is slowing, energy is fading, and your body is asking for help. I remember a man in his 60 seconds who walked into my office with a weary face. He admitted, "It's not just that I can't perform anymore. It's that I don't feel like myself. I've lost my strength, my confidence." I knew exactly what he meant. Because for men, masculinity isn't only physical, it's the feeling of waking up each morning with purpose, with the strength to protect and provide for loved ones. When that feeling fades, life itself seems to lose its color. That's why adding cinnamon, cocoa, maca coconut oil, and ginger to your morning coffee isn't just about restoring performance at 70 or 80. It's a reminder that you can still grow, still stay strong, still reinvent yourself. These ingredients don't just open blood vessels, they open doors to new energy, sharper thinking, and deeper connection with the people you love. And when a man feels his body come alive again, everything changes. Smiles come more easily, his step becomes more confident, and joy returns to his life. When a man regains his strength, I see a clear transformation. He walks with greater certainty, faces challenges with new confidence, and most importantly, he rediscovers intimacy without fear or hesitation. I've seen countless men who thought their best years were over, only to realize that decline is not destiny. It's just a signal to change. That spark of life, that feeling of being fully present, can absolutely return. And your morning coffee, once ordinary, can become a daily reminder that you're still in control. That small choices today can reshape your entire tomorrow. In fact, it becomes an act of self-respect, a way of telling your body and mind, I still matter. I'm not done yet. So this is not just a story about blood vessels, hormones, or biology. It's a story about identity, dignity, and inner strength. When a man feels whole again, he doesn't just restore his body, he restores his life. And now, after walking through this entire journey together, it's time to bring everything into one complete picture. Conclusion: small choices, big results. We began with a simple truth. Plain coffee alone cannot restore what time has taken away. But by adding just a few natural science-backed ingredients, cinnamon, cocoa, maca, coconut oil, and ginger, your coffee becomes something far more powerful. Cinnamon stabilizes blood sugar and protects your blood vessels. Cocoa flips the nitric oxide switch, opening the pathways for powerful blood flow. Maca reignites hormones and long-lost passion. Coconut oil, divided by MCTs, provide the raw fuel your body needs to build testosterone. Ginger supercharges circulation and protects your endocrine engine. This isn't about overnight miracles or magic pills. It's about respect. Respect for your body, your health, and the years you've earned. I've seen hundreds, even thousands of men in their 60 seconds, 70 seconds, and 80 seconds reclaim energy, strength, and confidence simply by making small, consistent daily changes. The results don't come from rushing. They come from steady rebuilding, one morning, one cup of coffee, one simple habit at a time. And because the change happens gradually, it's even more powerful at last. Honestly, every time a patient tells me he feels like himself again, laughing more, working harder, or holding his wife's hand with a renewed spark, I know we've done more than treat a symptom. We've helped him reclaim a piece of his life. And isn't that what we all want? To feel alive, connected, and capable, no matter how many candles are on the birthday cake. So here's my challenge to you tomorrow morning. When you pour that cup of coffee, remember what we've shared. Don't try to do it all at once. Start simple, add just one ingredient, only one. Keep that habit for a few weeks and watch how your body responds. You'll be surprised at the changes. When you're ready, add a second ingredient, then a third. Step by step, you'll build your own personal formula, one that matches your journey, your health, and your goals. Remember, your body is still capable of extraordinary things. It's just waiting for the right fuel. The secret isn't urgency, it's patience, persistence, and belief. So never think your best days are behind you. The truth is, your best days may still lie ahead. And it all begins with one small choice, adding a little cinnamon, a spoonful of cocoa, or a slice of ginger to your morning coffee. If you believe you deserve a life of health, strength, and lasting energy, start tomorrow morning. And don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we can continue this journey together. Because, gentlemen, you are not finished. A new chapter, brighter, stronger, and more powerful, is waiting right in front of you.